You know what sound that is, folks? You betcha. That's another noon whistle. I'm Chris Trottier.
And I'm John Anzalone, and we're here with Leslie. How are you, Leslie?
I'm great. Thanks, guys.
Hey, we got lots to talk about. Elkhorn alumni, Southern Wakes United board member, WSEDA, all things community, all things the greater Elkhorn, Walworth County area, right?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, we're glad you stayed home. We're glad you stayed home all these years. We got you out here. But it wasn't always that way. After like what year did you graduate?
1994.
A couple years ago. Okay.
Yeah, a couple years ago. I did what we all do and tried to take off. You know, not so far, but I tried. But ended back at Whitewater. Awesome school. Graduated there.
And your degree was in, what'd you tell us before the show? It was
a Bachelor of Science in, which is a little weird, in journalism and business management. Yeah.
Got it.
For some reason, I was thinking horticulture.
No, that's right. So you get your degree.
Definitely not.
Get your degree. Your travels bring you around, but we want to really talk about, you know, you remained a resident in Elkhorn. You continue to commit to the community. Let's talk a little bit about, you know, as an alumni, you know, like, why did you come back? Well, you know, ultimately, like you said before the show, you're like, you know, we all want to go away. Platteville, right? We've tried UWM, we've tried it. Come back, we settle in at home. Like, what has kept you in the town and place where you grew up?
That is a good question.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if anybody could answer that with any amount of pinpoint clarity, because I think it's the lake life. It's the area, our county, you know. All right. Some honesty and disclosure. My boyfriend, who I met on the ski team, was here. So, you know, there was a little draw to come back for that as well, who is now my husband. So that worked out.
Yeah.
But
so that was a good
other
move.
than that, you know, I mean, yeah, it's the life here. And I mean, I don't have a ton of high school friends still around. Well, maybe more than I know of, actually. But I, through ski team, I met so many people from Illinois that live on the lake. You know, so you kind of get your group, and it's that's important.
Yeah, it's home, right?
And
it's home.
You stayed with the ski team all this time. I mean, not only, you know, you used to ski, but you stayed with it all the way through and have stayed a member and been on the board and been a treasurer. I think you're treasurer now, right?
I am treasurer now. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And so that's a lot of years with the ski team. And should we talk a little bit about ski team?
Yeah, jump right in.
What you guys do, and tell us a little bit about what you do and where the shows are and how someone could see a show.
100%. Absolutely. So I joined in 1989. At the time, we were called the Lauderdale Lakes Aqua Skiers, skiing only on Lauderdale Lakes and Donjean Bay. Skied with them, you know, up until, well, I did take a short break when I had kids, but then both my husband and I came back. We met on the ski team. He was our driver. He's still our driver. So anyway, so we came back to the Lauderdale Aqua Skiers, and in 2018, I was on the board, and we started talking with the Whitewater Club, Whitewater Lake Sports Club. They were known as Minneska, which means Whitewater. And both teams were just small. We were kind of falling apart, really hard to keep members. People aren't quite as committed as they used to be. And we've got some of the biggest teams, well, literally the biggest teams in the world surrounding us. So we said, let's merge. We've got great skiers, you know, we've got the resources. We're really close. Whitewater and Lauderdale Lakes are really close. So we merged. So now that's Southern Wakes United.
So what did you ski when you skied, Leslie?
I've done most everything. You know, I mean, you think you have to know how to ski to be on the ski team, and really you should, because it is supposed to be, you know, about skiing. But pyramids, I've done the prefab pyramids. I've done our 4-high. I did trios. I can trick. I can swivel ski, ballet, all that kind of stuff. I actually just ordered a swivel ski, so I'm trying to get back into it, because as my friends on the team who are even older than I am keep saying, you are not too old. So
now
I don't know. We'll see. He says I am.
Now your whole family's been committed. Children involved in Southern Wakes? So kind of following in their parents' footsteps and continue the tradition going?
One, they both joined at in like 2015. I think they both joined. My son has decided to just ski recreationally. My daughter, though, is still very, very involved.
Got it.
And she does all the stuff that I used to do. So I kind of turned my spot over to her.
That's nice. There you go.
What's the age difference between your youngest skier and oldest skier in the club?
I think I was guessing a little before the show, and I'm still doing a little guessing. I believe our youngest this year is right around 10, maybe 9, 10, 11. And our oldest skiing member is in her 60s. We've got non-skiing members, our boat drivers, our sound people. So that's a lot of times where grandparents will join to become involved. Once we're kind of through with skiing, they'll become boat drivers or spotters, or they'll help with costumes, there's never a lack of things to do. So,
are you guys looking for volunteers? Is that something that if someone comes and says, "Hey, I'd like to be involved," is that a possibility?
100%. And this year in particular, we've been kind of whining the last number of years since we merged that a lot of our skiers are actually older. And that's kind of a common thing with a lot of the clubs. We've got some really committed older members that have been on the team for, decades. And they're kind of starting to age out, but they're the ones who do all the work. And so now, we kept saying, oh, we wish we had, this young crew like we had back in the heyday in the 90s, and well, we kind of do now. The problem is they aren't as qualified yet to do some of the behind the scenes stuff, to tow the boats and do all of that stuff. So now we're looking for their parents or others, retirees, anybody who wants to just be involved but doesn't necessarily want to ski. We desperately need spotters. We need safety people, sound people, dock people. There's a lot.
So if someone wanted to ski or drive or spot or whatever that is, where do they go? Who do they get a hold of?
Me.
You.
Yeah.
And how do they get a hold of you?
I am technically the treasurer, but I do all of our. We do have a membership. I shouldn't say we do have a membership director, but I handle all of our. We use TeamSnap for our membership stuff, so I handle all of our scheduling and our TeamSnap and stuff. And so they can just go to our website, southernwakesunited.com, and go to the contact us, and I'm on there. So
got it.
Yep.
So that's a big part of your life. Let's also talk about, you have a new title right now for Waseda. Talk a little bit about what's happening at Waseda, kind of some of the changes that are happening, what's exciting. Yeah. Like, give us, you guys just had the State of the County, right?
We did. Yep. Just had our State of a County event. We had our workforce symposium in May. Waseda, Walworth County Economic Development Alliance. I forgot to wear my hat that says sucker, because, sort of unknowingly, I got involved in another nonprofit, but that just is where I gravitate. Waseda is a nonprofit, 501c6. So, but we do, I'm now the director of operations. I've been with Waseda for 8 years. And so, like you said, we just had the State of the County. We had our workforce symposium event. I work a lot with our training. We do leadership training for mid to entry level leaders. And we also have a program for executive level C-suite leaders. That's outstanding. We work with Gateway on that. And we do a Spanish for Business class, which has really taken off. Practical Spanish for, bridging sort of the cultural gap and improving culture. We do, Chris, you actually, I think you introduced me to the Bring Your A Game program.
Yep.
At one time.
Yeah.
So we do that program as well, essential workplace skills. So that's a lot of our training. I also work with my colleague Lisa on our events. So we've got a little break here over the summer, but then we've got our annual meeting coming up in November and our golf outing in September. And we're actually starting a recruitment portal. So that's in the works, where people can go more than just jobs. We're going to include a lot of our youth experiences on that portal. A lot of information about our communities, why someone might want to relocate here as an employee, as a business owner, things like that. So we connect the dots is what we do in a nutshell.
Where would someone go if they want to get a hold of you guys or stop by or maybe an interested?
Yep. So, COVID changed things. We used to be in the office a lot more. Our office is in the South building at Gateway, but we're not there on a consistent basis. So best thing to do is go to walworthbusiness.com and connect with one of us. We're a small crew. So anyone, we get in touch with each other and we find the right people, depending on what someone is looking for.
So what I'm hearing is Waseda kind of connects the dots. If I'm someone that wants to relocate my business, start a new business, looking for a different space for my business, are you the people that connect the dots to that?
We do. That some of that stuff is our executive director Derek's sort of realm. He has a lot of resources, grants, different types of funding. We actually ourselves we have a revolving loan fund. So it's sort of a supplement fund to, for slightly higher risk, low dollar amount funds or loans. So we can handle some of that kind of thing, that kind of stuff. We, through our events, we're supported by members completely. So our members come to our events, they network, they sponsor, different types of activities that we do. And of course, we are there to present expert level advice and training, things like that.
Are your members then your business partners? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that belong to Waseda. And do you guys interact with the economic development groups within each municipality as well?
Oh, that's a good question.
We do. Again, that's sort of, Derek has, I don't know how often, but he has semi-frequent meetings with the economic development groups in the area. We also, uniquely to our area, so I've been told, Waseda is sort of been adopted by the chamber groups in the county. And so they actually meet once a month and we meet with them. And so there's some events we used to do, we haven't done them in a little while, but we used to do our 3 Driving Engines events. And that was a collaborative effort between us and all the chambers in the county, which is a very cool thing. I'm told that's not very common.
That seems to make a lot of sense.
It does. I mean,
well, and I think what people don't realize is, and not that they should know this, but like for the intersection between schools, technical colleges and universities, so post-secondary, and economic development is really, really getting tighter and tighter. Like those,
and if it's not in your community, it should be, right?
That's exactly right. And I'm speaking more from the K-12 lens. Here we are at the district office. Like, the school districts, whether it's Elkhorn or it's, our friends in Muskego or McGuanago or Conomowoc or Elmbrook, Brookfield area, Milwaukee. I mean, I am on the phone with economic development multiple times a week talking about how to leverage partnerships and relationships with schools. And I think one of our proudest relationships and strongest relationships was Waseda, who was an integral part of our Craftsman with Character program. And John, you were obviously a big part of that in teaching the course, and Lisa was also there every Friday and really kind of took it upon herself. But like just not being there in the sense of like being a part of it as we're, launching it. But even prior to, I called up Derek in finding employers and who wants to partner and how to expand and feed that pipeline for manufacturing. So I just really, I think, when we look at those relationships, it's a good opportunity for us in this forum, to talk about how integral those key relationships are. And, you guys being on the Gateway campus, I mean, your board members are who? Jason Tadlock, Matt Jennison. So you got the school district superintendent, who's also the board president of Gateway. Then you have what's Matt Jennison, the vice president of Gateway? You have him on he was, I don't know if he still is on your board.
He was. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really, I think, talk a little bit from your lens on where you see that value. I mean, I know I kind of talked for a couple of minutes here, but just kind of teeing it up for you, like watching as a community member, alumni, where do you see that value in Wacida's role in that, and why they're so connected with the schools?
Well, yeah, I mean, you hit a lot of nails on the head with that, because, you know, one of the things I think that maybe the three of us could say, having gone through a school system in our day, having gone through college, you know, at one point I said, what can I graduate with? I didn't have experiences to sort of help me determine this is what I like, and more importantly, this is what I don't like. And so I had to sort of go through some schooling to sort of maybe try to determine that. And then it's like, well, I don't really like that. I'm going to change majors. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
These kids now, you know, I mean, even starting in middle school, but certainly in high school, you know, the more we can get them out there, the more that they're going to learn, and they should at this age. And they learn more than just, you know, about a career in the job. They learn about the culture of a business, how to behave, what's, you know, acceptable and what's not, you know, and they just, there's so much that we forget that they don't know. And they have such a head start by doing all of these experiences. That Craftsman with Character program was unbelievable in doing that for kids that, you know, maybe wouldn't normally have the opportunity to get out there like that. And I mean, I think that the businesses, from what you guys have told me, certainly they found these kids incredibly valuable, and they want them to continue, you know. And so these kids, and plus we're keeping then our workforce local. Right. Because a lot of kids think, you know, in order to do this, I've got to leave. In order to do that, I've got to leave. Yeah, in some cases that's true, but mostly no, you don't. You know, this is a great community.
Learning what you want and don't want to do at a low risk. Not, I'm out in the world, I got to pay rent, I have a car payment, things like that. Or I went to school and changing my major is expensive because now I have to take more classes.
Exactly. My daughter is a prime example. It wasn't necessarily through a learning experience, you know, it was a learning experience, but it wasn't one that she purposely went into. She tore her ACL downhill ski racing, and now she wants to be a physical therapist. You know, I mean, that's how that works. You know, she was in the physical therapist's office talking with them. She's learning from them. That's how this works. And so the more of those we can set up, I think, the better off our kids and our workforce will be in the future. And I think the businesses are really understanding that. Yeah. And we love connecting you guys, the schools and the kids, to the businesses through our relationships, you know, some of which you guys already have on your own, some of which maybe you don't.
Well, Wacita's a great liaison.
Yeah.
I mean, between school, business, you know, community, you guys do a great job of being that connector.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we're ever trying.
So what are you excited about in your new title? What the next 6 months? What are you most excited about, Leslie? And then we'll wrap it up here.
Well, so most of what I'm doing is stuff that I have done before. You guys may not even realize I was technically part-time before, although it was borderline. So I have some more hours to do some things now. But the biggest thing is working with the what we're now calling our Careers for Kids program, used to be Inspire. I hadn't been involved in that aside from sort of behind the scenes with the marketing side of things. So now I'm really excited to go out and talk to businesses, to sort of start scheduling some things, get them to commit to some of these experiences, and bring that back to the schools and have them just be able to grab some experiences and make that process more streamlined and easier for you guys is the idea.
That's great. It's great. It's great to have that somebody serving as assisting us in that connective tissue and launching those things. Well, that's great. Well, okay. So, I mean, we're at our 15 minute. Isn't it amazing how quickly 20 minutes goes by, Leslie?
Well, Chris, I think we've had pretty long conversations in our history, so I know we keep going.
I think you're right on that.
You're capable too.
Yeah. Nobody out there say it's because Chris is long-winded, please.
No.
So, all right. 4th of July is coming up this weekend. What does it look like at your house? Are you?
Yeah, it's a busy one. Yeah. Well, when you live on the lake, everybody's your friend over 4th of July.
Okay.
So We have about 25 people coming out. Lauderdale's cool. We go out on the boats to watch the fireworks, and the fireworks are amazing, but it's really the boats. There's thousands of boats out there all at one time. It's such a cool thing. We have a ski show at the Lauderdale Landing on Friday night. And then Sunday right away, we turn around and start practicing for our state regional competition in Lake Wazicha in Wisconsin Rapids in a couple weeks.
Nice.
I don't think we touched on, so you ski on Lauderdale Lake, Whitewater Lake,
Babeman Park, Elkhorn Lake, yep. And then we have one show on Turtle Lake.
Turtle Lake, that was
Got
it.
it. Okay.
Okay. So you're kind of everywhere, and people should look you up online and see when those are, where they are, and show up. And while they're there, they can put a few bucks in the bucket, right?
Doesn't hurt. We can always use it.
Helps, right?
We got, $20 and you get a t-shirt, a team t-shirt and a magazine. I produce our team magazine every year. This year it's 50 some pages. Lots of good advertisers, lots of nice pictures. It's kind of coffee table style. So we've got a lot of cool stuff. Yeah.
Nice. Well, we appreciate you we're obviously glad you came home after high school and remained in the community and raised your family here. And thank you for all you do for the Southern Wakes United and also your relationship with the schools. We appreciate it. And thanks for being on the Noon Whistle. Thanks
for having me.
I think we've had Derek on. Yeah. You on. Has Lisa been on?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe we have to, before she heads off to retirement, maybe we'll have her on. So all right, we thank you so much for being on. John, anything else?
Thank you. Enjoy your summer.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you soon. And everybody, looking forward to next week's Noon Whistle. And hopefully we're going to have a new exciting guest, I think, huh?
Summer lineup. Here we go.
Summer lineup's coming. We're getting close, Leslie. Our 150th show's coming up.
No way.
Yes.
Time flies. It feels like yesterday.
Yeah. So we got to figure out who's going to be on our 150th episode. So.
Fun fact about that is I've been with Chris longer than anybody else has. So.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, you were in law enforcement. You have a high tolerance level. All right. On that note, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.